titillate the juices. You know what? Woo! Right now. Woo! Woo!
Dr. Yooo invite followers. Oh, let's see if they increase now. Me too. Yeah. Wow. Dr. Yooo.
Monkey smoke.
He's a great podcaster.
Tricky smoke.
Acknowledge me.
We coming for you, nigga. Fat!
Yeah, Dr. Yooo, here we go. Keep plugging yourself, that's cool.
First up, a man whose looks will serve your inner needs and desires.
Dr. Yooo.
Yeet. No yeet.
No, we're here. We're here, everybody. Just me tonight before Monday Night Raw Part Deuce on Netflix. Welcome to you all. I have a whole monologue set up. I had AI write it in the past 5 minutes. Let's see what it has to say, right? Let's tell a little bedtime stories. Everybody in here get liking and subscribing and sharing because I'm going to be promoting some things like my album that is out there right now. I got plenty more where that came from. So if you got a Spotify, you got one of these modern day playlists going on out here, then pick this up. I mean, music's free these days, right? I guess. I don't know why I'm doing it. Guess I just like to do it. Hello to you, Sasha Reigns. Hello to everybody out there in the Hugenverse. We're over here. We're grinding. Dr. Huge has been editing a lot of videos for his brand new YouTube channel that will be coming up shortly. I'm going to keep this channel as well, so please keep following here. I need the watch time here if I ever want to monetize, and I would love to monetize and then become as big as The Rock someday. I fixed the mirroring situation here, so now, look, I'm a fan of the Patriots, Super Bowl champions. You can read that if you'd like. We got some football talk to possibly speak on tonight as well. I'm an expert on the NFL. I don't know if you've heard. Even had family members in the NFL, just learned that. So, wow. Shout out to me. Shout out to King Reezy. Damn right. Go get that new Dr. Huge. Brand new podcast I put out the other day. Audio version of this. SoundCloud, Apple Podcasts, all over the place. Shout us out on there. Pump us up. Give us likes everywhere. Of course, that doesn't just mean here. But all right, let's get into the show. Let's do my monologue that AI wrote for me. Welcome to the Dr. Huge Show, where the drama is as fake as my last chiropractic degree. I'm your host, Dr. Hugenstein. And if you thought pro wrestling was just about spandex and steroids, you've clearly never seen me try to body slam a cheeseburger. Oh, this thing's killing. Yep. Tonight, we're diving deep into the ring where every punch is a work of art and every grunt is a symphony of pain, or at least that's what they told me when I was backstage at the last match. We'll talk about the latest in wrestling news, like who's beefing with who over whose hair looks less like a bowl cut, and whether the ring can actually be considered a legitimate place to nap. Naps are funny, AI. I do like that. Reminds me of some Dabbleverse business. That lady Kmart and his mom wife, she makes sure he gets his naps in, his nappy times. Isn't that right, Carl? That's right. We've got stories that'll make you question if you're watching wrestling or live action soap opera. Did you see the Bills acting like they were in a wrestling match last week? More drama in that game than in a whole season of reality TV. Killing. All right, I think there's only a little bit more. It's getting down to the end. And don't forget, we'll look at some of the most ridiculous wrestling matches that prove the sport is less about the sport and more about the spectacle. Like, who knew you could win a match by just looking confused and lost? So strap in, grab your favorite protein shake, and let's wrestle with some laughs. Because here on the DrHUGEshow, the only thing we take seriously is how unseriously we take everything else. Let's get this show on the road, or should I say, in the ring. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you, artificial intelligence. See, I'm such a nice guy. I don't even want to like goof on the artificial intelligence, even though it's not like a real thing. Right. While you guys are all going to get your like sex robots in the next 5 years or whatever, and you're going to be smacking them around and your wife beater at home. Not this guy. Take care of my robots. Like the Chris Rock bit. I take care of my kids. I take care of my robots. So that's what's happening there. Again, my robots love my music. Of course, they have robot ears. Therefore, this music is very soothing to them. It's all in my my countdown here. That's me. I did that. So again, go get it. Go get the audio version of this podcast, SoundCloud, Apple Podcast, wherever. Like all that shit. Like this shit. Gotta try not to swear. The algos and the robots online, it will be after me there too. There's a lot of robot business going on. I don't know if you've noticed out here, everybody. But there is. I'm not going to speak on it too much because we got a lot of wrestling stuff to get to tonight. So what else we got to? Oh, and Teespring. Go on Teespring, DrHUGEshow, all over the planet. Pick up stuff. That's a way you can support this show. Go grab some merchandise. Hey, I don't like merch. I'm no merch table J Uso. Go get my merchandise. Do I have dice around? Merchandise. Oh. Yep. The biggest thing the thing I want to talk about the most interesting thing going on in wrestling right now, in my expert analyst opinion, Seth Rollins, CM Punk. I know that match already happened in the last week's Raw, but are we really done there? And we probably are. CM Punk's going to be coming out tonight. He's making an appearance, folks. So strap in for some pipe bombs. But this Seth Rollins, is he just going to let this go? I don't see that happening. And it's really hard for me to swallow that he had to take that L. Because of all the losing. We've gone through this before. The Cody stuff, the Roman Reigns stuff. Okay. This whole year is a big loss for Seth Rollins. Well, the past year. And then he loses right out the gate in 2025. Okay. But what this means is Seth Rollins will most likely be in the Royal Rumble now, I guess. And then he'll be working his way to the top. Drew McIntyre probably wants to get to the top. And we know CM Punk does. And there's a handful of others, which is what's best for business. If wrestling doesn't have multiple guys trying to get the strap, then what are we doing? I get how some people, especially big names or top guys, can get caught up in non-title business and go into other storylines. But there's way too many wrestlers. And if you are at WWE every night, even if you're Apollo Crews backstage, what's your goal? You're not trying to get any title? You're just kind of hanging around. You're going to win a match here too. So yeah, make all this make sense. I like what they're doing. This Royal Rumble's, to me, almost slated to be the greatest one ever, with all the intertwining storylines that they got going on, and going into Mania season. This is going to be amazing. It has the potential. They got the stuff going on. Netflix, this card we're going to go through tonight a little bit, but this week definitely doesn't seem as big as last week, they being the opening night. And you'll see, because of the matches, they were the very second rate compared to that first night, where it was a banger to some people. It was supposed to be a banger. It was actually, they were hyping it up so much that it was very much a normal Raw, just with The Rock and, some more high stakes matches. But then it was more just like, all right, let's just finish these stories. This Roman thing and the tribal, tribal chief, good, done. It felt rushed in a way, instead of like something that they, have written long term. So I don't know. Punk Rollins, though, that's the one I'm most interested in. So we can't be over. Seth Rollins, put your lingerie away and come out in some tough guy clothes tonight, if you will. Maybe some bell bottoms. At least it'll be like jeans. You can be weird, but it's hard to fight in a leotard and stuff. I know this is a fact. Done it many times. So, yep. And CM Punk, I wonder if he's going to bring out some cakes and pies to eat tonight, because he loves doing that. This guy. I don't know what that's all about. This isn't a new gimmick to me.
I drink that.
Nobody asked for you, Shinsuke Nakamura. You're on a whole other show. Get out of my life. There we go. I was looking for you, Steiner. We got more to say about you too later. Got so many teasers going on for everybody. We're going to be talking about Scott Steiner. That's right. News about him out there. He's not liking wrestling lately. And can you blame him? Are you going to disagree with him? I think not. Stop eating cakes and pies. Scott Steiner's out here and he's watching you. CM Punk.
He's fat.
Yeah, maybe he is. Compared to you at that age, totally, dude. Yep. So CM Punk's fat. Most interesting feud. And Rumble match feud, right? Because CM Punk's going to be in the Rumble. I don't think Rollins has announced yet. He shouldn't be doing anything else. I mean, who else is he beefing with at this point? CM Punk. And Bronson Reed, who's laid up, trying to take my job of live tweeting Raw and all the rest. Taking my spot. It's not allowed. Do I have a spot guy around here? I might not. I got to get used to using my scenes. Get myself in the right scene. I'm such a podcast audio guy. No, he's not in tonight. We'll get him here someday. You'll see what I'm talking about in the future. Spot guy. Not his spot, my spot. Your dog's spot. Not a liver spot. My spot. Yep. We'll speak on this guy later. Dave Meltzer, Eric Bischoff, Vince Russo. I mean, they're not all fighting. Bischoff and Russo pretty much just clowning Meltzer 24/7 because Meltzer doesn't make any sense. And there are receipts. See, I'm not supposed to make sense. You act like you are supposed to make sense, and then you don't. So people are catching on. The king has no clothes, or whatever that saying is. The wizard has had the sheet pulled from him. That's how it's said. Dave Meltzer. Trying to get everybody to believe. What is it? His shit all costs? Like, it's all this wrestling news and whatnot. I've never been into it. Never been into any, like, dirt sheet stuff. I'm not that interested. I got enough time to watch this stuff. Maybe. And there's a lot of it these days. But then you want me to go on. I get for, like, the kids to do it. That's when I would mainly hear about, like, dirt sheet stuff. Was junior high and high school. And not everybody had a computer back then in those days. Never mind a handheld one. But damn, Dave, $15, $20, whatever you're charging, that newsletter must be amazing. Must be. Getting everybody fired up here for years. So, yep. We'll be talking about Logan Paul. Let's do it right now, because Logan Paul is most likely taking on Gunther. Gunther's already talked about this at WWE headquarters when they did that deal there. And then YouTube got rid of my video and all that because, copyrights. And so you're going to be seeing all pictures from now on, folks, because they copyright just about everything. Not all the time. I guess I can do some things if they're coming from individual wrestler accounts, or if it's me, everybody can just use my stuff, right? Because, I'm not a big corporation. But yeah, no videos. I don't even know about audio, but fuck it. We're doing it. We're doing whatever we want. And we're going to get away with everything in a boxing ring, TOS. Anyway, Logan Paul taking on Gunther. Definitely not at WrestleMania. Nobody wants that. So if you're thinking about that, we don't want it. We won't watch it. I'm speaking for everybody because, that's too big of a match for a Logan Paul. And then watch him win it and troll us all because he's a worser than the Hulk Hogan's brother. He is. Had Jay Leno on last week, and we made sense of that at least. I don't even care. You can be full-blown racist, but the racist guy, if he is a full-blown racist, right? Which, believe it or not, I don't care. But let's say he is. Let's say he's Grand Wizard Hogan. I like that better than this because this guy affects people's lives directly and has done it. Stealing that grip in the form of cryptos and things. I don't even need to know the whole story. I don't even need to know how crypto works. I just know that you're the male Hawk Tua. No talent hack. Got in through however you got in, right? The YouTube days here where, I can't make any noise here, but a 12-year-old that, does stupid shit can. All right. Got it. Maybe I need to hire some of those. Get ahead of the game here. Throw them into some woods where people apparently kill themselves. I never even knew about this stuff. But I have to know it now because you're in my world. Bronson Reed's on my online world now. And now, Logan Paul, you're in my entire pro wrestling world. And I don't like it. I don't like it. I don't want it. And you need to get slapped around by Gunther like a little bitch and sent back to your own podcast there. Which, by the way, is the shits.
It's the shits.
I've actually heard it, not because I went out of my way to go listen to this pile of piece of shit.
It's the shits.
It was because I watch Red Bar sometimes, and Red Bar is good. Sometimes. I'll give you a shout out, Red Bar, all right? So if you're ever doing a Red Bar in the wild, guess what? There's a comedy pro wrestling deal out here that knows who you are. Super famous. Super famous guy out here, guys. Just so you know. He watches him. And that's the only way I've seen this guy's podcast was through Red Bar. I heard if you say his name too many times, he shows up like Candyman or something. And I'm here for it. Red Bar me all you want. I'm more Red Barring myself. But this guy, he want to be boxer, just like Red Bar say. He says bro a lot. He's got that whole California thing going on with the accent. It's all terrible. Being an East Coast guy myself, I can't stand West Coast stuff. In general, I know there are people that watch this on the West Coast, and you guys are great, right? Just like the Philadelphia Eagles fans. They all are the shits.
It's the shits.
Except like Jeffrey Cross and a few of the people that I know. I'll allow it from them a little bit. But the rest of you guys aren't. It's not fun. It's not funny. I don't know. The Joe Rogan, comedy people. I don't like that. They're tied in. It's the same thing. It's just it's not the best in the world. I'm not saying I'm the best in the world, even though I am. Right?
The best.
All right, we won't do the whole thing. It's so long. Anyway, they act like they're the best in the world, some of these guys. And then they do the podcast where they're laying on couches and shit. Really? You're going to lay on a couch and you're going to be all sprawled out. Everybody's going to come out in a plushy chair or something, whatever they call them things. Lay on a beanbag, and that sucks. That's why those shows stink, because they're not even preparing them. It's just rich guys showing up and playing radio. This ain't playing. This is expert analyst, journalist business. You all know that. That's why you're watching right now. And that's why you're subscribing at this moment, and you're retweeting this and sharing this, and hopefully going to YouTube so I can get some fucking watch hours on there, and maybe get some more eyes on this deal. So when I have some big time guests on in the future, you know, we'll be doing some bigger, better things. Who knows? Maybe I'll get Logan Paul on someday, and I can bring this all to his attention, see what he thinks about it. You'd be like, yo, bro, I box you to death. And I'd be like, nope, hell in a cell. That's where we settle business around here, Logan Paul. Thank you. Get off my screen. I've had enough of looking at you. Okay. So, yeah, Gunther, if you get a chance, right? I'm not saying you need to take your liberties and hurt him or whatever. Well, you can hurt him. Don't injure him. Just give him a lot of hurt, because he deserves it, I guess. You know, from what I've heard, from what I've seen online, totally deserves it. Yep. Does Hulk Hogan deserve physical abuse? No, I don't think physical abuse. Plus, he's really old, and that back. Have you ever seen that back? Look at it. I'll show it to you right now. That doesn't look like a good back. That back is fudged. Look at all the lacerations, and his ass, his panties came off up in the back. He's hurting. And in real life also, his back, it looks like somebody put the Terminator back there. It's like half man, half machine. I'm not even joking. It's like there are things sticking out of his back. It's wild. Too many leg drops, brother. That's right.
Assume the controls. Hulk Hogan.
So, no more Logan Paul. Gunther champion forever, pretty much. And he wants to be boxer. Rhea Ripley's showing up tonight. She's appearing. That's the word that we use around here. Appearing. These three things right away. Boom. CM Punk, Gunther, Rhea Ripley all appearing tonight. Rhea Ripley out of the three is by far the worst on the mic. Sorry, Rhea. Sorry to be so critical. I know the people love you out here. The kids love you. You got your Vampiro makeup that you're going to be coming out with tonight, and your Frankenstein boots and your butt cheeks hanging out, you know, tatted to the nines. And everybody's going to cheer. And then you're going to give us this horrendous promo. Liv's probably going to get back involved. She's telling us indirectly online to watch tonight. Because watch me, right? She's going to be on. And I expect her to come out when Rhea appears. Mommy-saurus, Luchasaurus, Lucha Mommy. Yep. I'm done with it. I mean, Liv's going to need to get her rematch or whatever going. But I don't need any more of this. You got Damian Priest later on in the evening taking on Finn Balor in a street fight because he can't get away from the Judgment Day. She's still in the Judgment Day with Dirty Dom and all the rest. So they just can't. They're still kind of like joined. And that women's belt is like staying in that realm along with the tag titles, which has been pulled away recently and is now with the War Raiders, or as I like to call them, the Biker Raiders now. Because they've teamed up with Priest to fight the Judgment Day. So guess what? The tag titles are still in that world too. So, okay. The Judgment Day, Priest, War Raiders, they're giving a lot of people something to do. So I understand why they're doing this, why the story is going the way it is. And people want things to be changed quicker. You know, they want things to be finished up with it. What are we going to do with them after that? You know, there's a lot of moving parts here. They can't just jump into other stories, but at least they got guys that still semi want to go for the main belt. Priest, you know, we know he's a main event or top belt guy, if you will. Hold on. I gotta sneeze. I think we did it. Just one sneeze. All right. But he's a top guy. We know he wants the belt still, even though he's been pushed back down the rankings, it feels like. Drew McIntyre wants it. CM Punk wants it. Roman wants it. But this is the thing that's confusing about this again, because they show Roman Reigns so much and Cody Rhodes is out here all the time. And I get, he is the main title guy, right? But then why is Gunther never on SmackDown? Or is he? I don't know, because I'm confused. I don't know what's going on with any, I guess certain guys like the Priest and the Judgment Day people are going after the Raw belts still. They're not in the Cody universe. They got to figure that piece out. Even if you have to do another draft and call it something like the final draft, like just make it the last one and then stick to it. You got the next Netflix deal. You got the 3-hour SmackDowns. You know where everybody is in the level and everything. You can always pull people up or put them down. NXT below SmackDown, do it like that. One more good draft. Really drive the point home that certain people are on certain shows, and then keep it like that. So there you go. That's how you fix that. Otherwise, it's been a mess ever since the last. They were drafting people from NXT, and they're not even with the company. Remember Donovan Dijak there? He got called up, didn't he, in one of the last ones? And they kicked him out. Released him, rather. But he seems to be doing big things out there. He's from my area, too. He should be coming on here. You know what? Let's go. Let's book it. Book it, my people. Get out there and book whatever he calls himself these days. We know him as Dijak. And you know what? That character he had in NXT was great. The whole, Judge Dredd Batman thing he had going on. He was all about justice. It was very good. Very good. Bring that back. We want that, Triple H. At least I do. And if I want it, that means everybody else wants it. And if they don't want it, it's because they don't know they want it yet. Okay? Just like Karrion Kross. Telling everybody the final testicle is one of the best things in the world. And you're kind of seeing it. It's tough. A lot of people are hating on the Wyatt Six because it's mainly a social media gimmick at this point. And, and all the spooky stuff that goes on in the arena in their certain parts. But nobody's really that impressed by it anymore. And I think the way to get around that is by doing more in-ring stuff and more fantastical stuff. Maybe a ladder match. Big old ladder match at Royal Rumble or Mania between the two gangs and set it up just like a movie. Some people disappear, go backstage, you cut to that. Whatever. I'm not rating it for you. You're not paying me. Have your own people do it. Sick of you stealing my ideas, WWE. But yeah, something like that. Not necessarily the Wyatt family Woods New Day thing or Undertaker and AJ Styles. But something in between. So, breaking news there. Do I have breaking news? Let's just make sure I got all my samples correct. I'm ending shows with like porn clips, and I don't want to do that. I'm like, it's a big mistake, right? I'm a professional here. We got to make sure we got breaking news when we got it.
This is breaking news.
Breaking news. I know where the clip is. Thank you, everybody. All right, what else is happening? Here's a story in between all this wrestling talk. Vinnie Mac. I hear all his court issues have been pretty much solved. They're solving the Trump stuff. They're solving the Vinnie Mac stuff. I don't know if there's a correlation. Seems like there might be, though. And whatever. I don't know. You know my opinion on it. If you don't, here it goes. It's that this is a 40-plus-year-old woman that's in this case. So you mean to tell me, all right, I'm going to put my, I'm going to try to be in her shoes, right? I get a job with WWE somehow, because I don't even know the real story. I get it through Vince, or I get it through whatever. I get a job at WWE. And then Vince is like, start blowing me and start, let me shit on you and go F this guy and you go F that guy and then get back to me, pal. I would go, let me think about that. It's a lot of money. Do I want him to piss and shit on me and, all DP and all this stuff? DP? Sure, I'm in. No, I don't think that would happen. I don't think it would happen like that. I think if I was asked to do things I felt were against what I wanted to do, I wouldn't do it. Now, was he holding her by the back of the neck and was like, listen here, pal, you're going to do this and that? I mean, then do you still have to? You could be like, hey, Vince, I could take your whole business away from you for doing this. So, like I said, this is a grown ass woman that we're talking about, right? This isn't like a 15-year-old. Because when I first heard this story, I was like, oh, this is, and people were talking about it. I know for a fact I heard people saying she was 21, 22, whatever, early 20s. And I'm just like, no way. There's no, that's crazy if Vince is actually taking advantage of somebody that young. Even then, isn't that an adult? So she could go to war and get shot at and kill people overseas. But I'm just having a hard time with this. Now add 20 years onto this, right? And you're going to say yes to a lot of these things. It doesn't. And then I look online and I see the kids like, oh, Vince, you can't have him back. And he's the worst. And he's the this and that. And I get it. It's weird. It's not like a good look. But like these people out here, they don't have like any forgiveness for anybody. Have you noticed this lately? I'm talking generally about like everybody out here. Probably you watching right now. Now me, you can dislike anybody you want. I really don't give a shit. But I'm not going to hold it against you. I don't like Logan Paul. And there are a bunch of people that are like, oh, Dr. Hughes, you're a hater and you're this and that. You don't even like Pat McAfee. I don't hate Pat McAfee. I don't hate really any of these people because that's just like, it's too strong of a deal, right? It's more like I want him off my TV and stuff. Like that's how I kind of come at this in an angle. But then there are people out here that like, generally the younger generation where they're like holding on to all this stuff. They don't even know these people. And they're like, I want them to like never work again. And I never want them to ever have this and to do that. And it's like, who gives a fuck? At the end of the day, does it really change anything? Plus, you're going to be upset because most of the time, they're going to come back in some form, shape or form. Like Hulk Hogan did the other night, brother. And everybody booed, right? But you know what? Them same people that hate Hulk Hogan, I'm sure they got a kick out of it, right? So I'm just saying, I'm here for the entertainment first. Everything else, it really doesn't matter to me so much, except for like when you're stealing money from people, like that's kind of shitty, right? Or if you're doing things to kids or animals or abusing anything like that's the stuff I don't like. That's bad. Right? That's real bad. Like, and nobody should really ever come back from stuff like that. And, but there are gray areas with a lot of things, okay? So just keep that in mind, folks, when you're watching this. because I know you're a smart audience. This audience is one of the smartest in the world, and they get it. Other people might not get this and get this take. They're just like, no, black and white. You got to hate them, you got to love them. I don't do either. Not with any. Muted again mid-show. Loves to do it to me. Anyway, let's take a moment of silence for that loss of 2 seconds of my rant there.
Oh, a little bit of the bubbly. What do you laugh at, fuckface? Shut your mouth.
Yep. All right. You go eat Sasha Reigns. You come back and watch this on YouTube. Like the video and then share it to all your wrestling buddies online. Thank you. Have a good meal. I made a good one for you tonight. One of the best. Mac and cheese. Vinny mac and cheese. Uh-oh. You know what that means. Yep. How crazy would it be if we saw Vinnie Mac back at WrestleMania, though? That would be something. Vinnie Mac coming out, especially this year, while this is all, they need to do all this stuff. This is all I'm saying. Hulk Hogan gets booed. Good. Bring him back. Team him up with New Day. Team him up with Dominic Mysterio. Get super crazy heat. Vinnie McMahon. Bring back. Bring everybody back. Does my day change on Tuesday or whenever, or on Monday after WrestleMania weekend? Not a bit, except for talking about stuff. And that would sure give me a lot to talk about. Because, generally we're sitting over here lately because wrestling's been pretty damn good. And there's nothing to goof on. There's nothing to talk about. And then Cody's just always around like,
what do we want to talk about?
And I'm like, I don't know, Cody. What do we want to talk about? Now I have to make stuff up and, be like insanely creative for the millions out here. And you're just making my job harder, WWE, by making good content that makes sense. Even though it's still a little PG, you're at least throwing the doctor a bone here and tossing the rock out to me on like NXT on a CW channel where it's mostly 12-year-olds watching on that network. Buffy the Vampire Slayer, right? One of the best, one of the GOATs back in the day. And he's swearing and cussing, and you got, what's his name there? The Burger King rapper, Travis Scott, that comes out and he gets all the kids high in the crowd. So get off my screen, Mommy Saurus. Why are you still here? We've been done with you for a minute, bro. All right. Sorry about that, folks. You had to look at Mommy Saurus for like the past however long we've been doing this. Hey, how about this? Remember this the other night? Well, this isn't the actual picture, but these two wrestled the other night. And I didn't see it, but I saw the one clip, the end of the match between Jericho and Cash Wilder, or Dash Wilder, the Cash and Dash Bros. You know who they are. So Bald Cash is taking on Jericho, and at the end of the match, Jericho took a bump. Then he pulled the referee towards him. It was all so sloppy. If you didn't see it, definitely go look it up now. Come back to me and report it, because it's
the shits.
The absolute shits. Drizzling shits, thunderstorm shits, shitstorm. Totally a shitstorm.
It's the shits.
And Jericho supposedly poked the ref in the eye or did something to him. He really didn't do anything. He went he just waved his arm at him while he was laying on the ground. Cash Wheeler then jumps off the top rope to do, I think it looked like a headbutt gimmick. And then he didn't affect Jericho, though. I think it hurt Cash Diamonds. And then they get up. Jericho gives him the Judas effect, the most devastating move in all wrestling, that Judas effect. I seen him actually take down a skyscraper with a Judas effect one time. He just hit the lower foundation of a pillar, like the main pillar in the place, and the whole thing just came crumbling down. It was insane. So he put Cash Dealer to sleep, wins the match, 1, 2, 3, right in the middle, because then the ref woke up all of a sudden from being touched by Chris Jesus over here. It stunk. Again, doesn't really give me a whole lot of confidence to want to get back into, I gotta watch AEW again and Dynamite and Collision and ROH, and no thanks. It's a lot. This WWE's a lot. SmackDown's 3 hours now again. Which, I mean, come on, guys. You expect me to watch 3 hours of wrestling on a Friday night with all the hoes that I'm banging right now? With all the tang that I'm slaying? You want me to watch 3 hours of wrestling? Nope. You know what I'm going to say to that?
No yeet.
No yeet. So, yeah. If Dr. Huge is going to be a little less than prepared on Saturdays, don't take it out on me. Hey, man, I'm doing a Saturday show. 2 p.m., a pro wrestling expert panel. And I get all the celebrities on, all the experts, all the analysts. More to come there. But definitely put your notifications on, because I want you all to be a part of this show in the chat, live while I'm doing it. It turns into a podcast for everybody else, so that when they're working and they're lifting weights and having sex and all that, they get to listen to my thoughts and your comments. See? That's what I'm doing here. So if you're listening to this right now, get online, YouTube, like, share, sub, then notifications, and you're fucking set for life, bro. Until, YouTube just unsubscribes you for no apparent reason, just because they're trying to stick it to me. They don't like the Dr. Huge on there. I tell too much truth about pro wrestling and what's going on, I guess. Hitting a nerve. We get Gable and Penta tonight. Everybody knows Penta is coming. Pentagram Jr., Pentagon, changed his name a million times. I first learned of this fellow from watching Lucha Underground, one of the greatest wrestling shows of all time. I don't know if you know this, but it is. So go watch it if you haven't. Is it still on Netflix? It was on Netflix. I don't know if it still is. I may even have to go back and rewatch some of that. I'm sure there's podcasts about it. That's one weird thing. Can I ask everybody, and this is not me throwing shade at other podcasts that do these types, but to me, it's just, what a niche of a niche of a niche to want to talk about shit from like 30 years ago, right? Now, I really don't understand why you would do that, because there's not a lot of people that are like, hey, man, I wish somebody could do a podcast on the, name a pay-per-view from the 1980s. Unless, like, the guys that were in the pay-per-view are the ones talking about it, and with clips and all the rest. But just for an audio podcast about an old pay-per-view or promotion or whatever is like the worst idea in the world. So I just want to say that first. Like, a show should never be like, even this show. I don't even call this a pro wrestling show, even though that's mainly what I talk about. But I would. It's just not good. There's some advice for people out there. All the kids that are going to be getting into the podcast in the future, don't do that. Too niche, too weird. If you want to do one here or there in between, like your normal deal, yeah, that's cool. But I'm going to do In Your House 93, 95, whatever. And here's an hour of what I thought about it. Wow. That stinks.
That's the shits.
It just is. Sorry. So, yep. But Gable, Penta. Gable's going to take an L, looks like, again, boy, that all American or American made or whatever they call themselves now, they stink too.
It's the shits.
They're the shits. He's losing all the time. The tag team guys, though, they are looking good. They're badass dudes. They'll get their moment, I'm sure. The whole group of them. They should anyway. Yep. Got the merchandise out. People were complaining about it a little bit. I think we all know. As soon as he said you're facing a masked guy, we know Penta's coming. Duh. And now everybody thinks they're a genius out here. Oh, we know. And oh, they ruined it. How do they ruin it if we already knew? So, Penta, Chad Gable, it's happening tonight, brother. Be there. It reminds me, hopefully we get like this massive fireworks show, something, clever to bring him into the WWE like they did with Y2J, Taz. Even Val Venus, I think, got like hyped up. Back in the day, they hyped up a ton of people. It felt like maybe once every like 3 months, you were getting like a brand new wrestler that was just coming in and that they built up during the last, since the last one, the past 3 months. So keep that up. That was another thing I always wanted them to do, is kind of bring that feel back to it, because you kind of need fresh wrestlers to be cycled in. We've had some years here where we've had a lot of the same people. They have a ton of wrestlers. Not saying that on all promotions these days. More wrestlers than human beings at this point. But on Raw or SmackDown or a big show like that, you got to have at least like the bottom rung, something different. A new luchador, if you will, right? Like we're going to get tonight. Yep. Sheamus and Ludwig tonight. Got nothing to say about that. It just is what it is. It's going to be a banger, I'm sure, because Sheamus only does bangers. And then kind of touched on the Priest Balor Street fight. Judgment Day, Biker Raiders, they're all going to get involved. We already know this. Seems like a mediocre spot, mediocre story. It's because it's like a mid-card story deal. It's to give them something to do. There's a lot of guys and gals out here. Then they seem to be doing a very nice job with that, in my expert analyst opinion. Thank you. Lyra Dakota is also tonight. I wonder if that will be the actual main event. It should be. They should treat it like the top match of the night. And I'm expecting Lyra to win. She already placed second in the Queen of the Ring. Dakota Kai. I know Dakota's got her fans out here, but do you really see her getting a win over Lyra the way that they want to push Lyra? And she is really good in the ring. So there's that too, everyone. If you're a Dakota fan, you're just one of these young people out here that you're just like, nope, Dakota or we riot. Give Lyra a chance, because I'm sure you're going to probably like her better at some point. What else we got here? Jordan Grace and Tessa Blanchard are out here. They're fighting every week. I caught the tail end of last week's TNA. And, yep, they're beefing. And Jordan Grace is more cut than ever. She's like ripped. She got crazy ripped. She must only work out like when she's not wrestling. Because I don't even understand how you get that ripped. You're just going to fast all the time, not eat or drink? Like, damn. Because I remember her years and years ago when I first got on Twitter. She was around, she had a beef with me on there for a little. It wasn't nothing major or nothing like that, but it was like, generally a blocking offense by those standards back then. How Deonna Purrazzo would just block me because I disagreed with her or something like that. But yeah, she was like soft. She was a chubby girl, even at that point. And now she's like transformed. She's beyond Big Mama Pump. She's I said, it's not like thickness anymore. She's just like friggin' ripped. So wow. Almost as ripped as me. You'll get there someday, Jordan Grace. Don't worry. But yeah, people are still pissed at Tessa Blanchard. Even before I came on, I'm, scoping out Twitter here, the X machine, and I'm reading some things and people are hating on Tessa Blanchard still, saying things like she shouldn't be given another chance. She shouldn't be wrestling and, doing everything that she's doing right now. And again, it's one of those deals where it's like, so you just don't forgive people for things. Is this what we're doing? We're not forgiving anybody ever for anything. Something that has no effect on you. Words. Did she steal like millions of dollars from poor people? Did she, something like no, probably not. So, okay. Chill out. Big deal. That's all I'm saying, And the funny thing is Hansy, who I'm going to get Hansy on again. Hansy, shout out to you if you're watching. But Hansy, I can't believe it. Even during the controversy when it first happened, he was like, she's still ass eatable. I was like, wow, bro, that's crazy. She hates the way you look and you'll still eat her. I see. This is Hansy, right? I caught a tape of it. Yep. So, unbelievable. I would never. Not me. How is WWE still trying to make Meechin the thing? Like, stop trying to make Meechin a thing, bro. It's not cool. It's not fun.
No yeet.
It's no yeet. Definitely no yeet to this guy. I saw one of her backstage promos that she did recently. Oh,
It's the shits.
oh man, I wish I could play some of these clips with everybody, but you know what they'll do to me. They'll take away my channel and they'll, tar and feather me. If I ever show Meechin being the shits on the mic,
It's the shits.
being the shits in the ring.
It's the shits.
And it's not even like she's really the shits. I mean, of course, I'm, going a little over the top because she's not that bad. It's just, to me, with all the available spots that are there, it blows my mind that she's hung around. She's the female Apollo Crews.
It's the shits.
And it's not to take anything away from Apollo Crews, but what's Apollo Crews? He's been there for, a decade? And he's still Apollo Crews and there's nothing going on? Do something. She's at least doing a little something. She's a hardcore fighter and stuff now, which makes total sense if you've been keeping up like I have since the Impact days. That was one of her greatest matches of all time, is a hardcore match. But you're just now the hardcore chick. Remember they tried to give Liv that role for a while where it's like, no, you're the crazy hardcore chick now. That stunk.
It's the shits.
It's not a good role to have as a female anyway. Maybe have that as they had the guy that's in the Wyatt 6 now. He was that guy in NXT for a while. He was wild and crazy. He's just gonna be hardcore. It's a tough one to get over. And it's a lower level type of gimmick these days because it's Mankind's gimmick. And Meechin, I don't know what you're gonna do. I don't know how you're sticking around, but you are, and hopefully things get better. But I'm not seeing it. That's all I'm saying. I see a lot of these chicks in NXT that are just chomping at the bit to get up to the main roster, and they can go, and they're hot as fuck. So to watch your back, you better start jumping off some Hell in a Cells pretty soon, because the whole flatback gimmick, it's funny at first, but then when everybody keeps coming out there and seeing flatbacks or flapjacks or whatever you could want to call it, flapjack ass, they don't want it. No, they want big ass. They want Rikishi ass in people's faces, preferably Paul Heyman's or something. Now, yeah, sure, Paul Heyman. We'll just go with that. That's what I get here. Scott Steiner. He calls the wrestlers spot monkeys. I think we already know that's true. He says they don't sell punches. They kind of don't. WWE, of course, little different level than everybody else. They will sell certain things, but overall, the pro wrestling game, you can't take a DDT and pop back up from it. That's not how this works. Okay? So you mean to tell me I'm going to watch even a movie? I know the movie's fake, but we're going to watch a movie and Rambo's going to come out and shoot a guy in half, right? Is he going to just get up with his arms and grab his torso and put it back on and stand back up and start fighting with Rambo again? No. Because that's not how that works. That would take you out of the... You'd be like, wait a second. Rambo just killed a guy in Nam and split him in half, and he's still fighting Rambo somehow. So when you're taking like 3 Canadian destroyers in a row right on top of your head, getting thrown through a flaming table with tacks and all this shit, but while the ring explodes, and then you pop right back up and you're ready to go, and usually they win the match right after that. Huh? That's how AEW does it anyway. It's like, here's 3 Jake the Snake DDTs, bang, 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 and then Will Ospreay just pops right back up to his feet and looks at him like he's the Hulk or some shit. You're not the Hulk. None of yous are, all right? Unless you're banging Bubba the Love Sponge's wife, calling black people the N-words, and you're the border czar. If you're none of the 3, then you are not Hulk Hogan, bro. There he is. Thank you for watching tonight, of course. We're about to get to the second Raw on Netflix, and we're killing it, and we're doing it. And I got an album out. Hulk likes it. He bumps it every weekend. It's a badass album. 18 songs, almost an hour of music for $10. That's a way you can support. Another way you can support is Teespring. Go pick up a shirt, a sweater, or what have you. Get subscribing on here. Get sharing. Tell everybody that likes Dr. Huge and wrestling to follow this show. And that pretty much does it. Audio, podcast, SoundCloud, all that stuff.
Girlfriend, things that make you things that make you go things that make you Dummy. Yeah. Things that make you the things that make you
Rest in peace.
You're listening to Dr. Huge. What is it?
The Dr. Huge
Dr.
Show.
What?
Yes, Dr. Huge Show.
Dr. Huge Show. Oh my God. Okay, let me do it again.
Okay, go ahead.
My God.
We're back again. Danny Damage on a Tuesday night, getting ready for NXT. We're getting ready for some wrestling and graps. Do you actually stay up and watch NXT?
Not anymore, no.
Yeah.
No.
It's a little too much.
A lot of it is, to be honest. It's like a 1 o'clock start time for half of the year, and then midnight start time the rest of the year. And if you were just watching it without the adverts in, it's not so bad. But when they stop every 3 or 4 minutes to give you 2 minutes of adverts, and you're clinging on to staying awake, it just makes it for 3 hours. It's painful.
Yeah.
I
don't see how that's even possible because of the advertising, because there's so much of it. The streaming now just makes it 10 times worse. Isn't there? It feels to me that there's a way more commercials. Maybe they're shorter, but still, they just keep interrupting you.
Yeah.
You get going, and it's like, whoa, hey, buy this. And it's like,
it's constant.
Yeah.
At least over here, I know in America you guys have like more frequent commercials but shorter, whereas we traditionally have like a 5-minute block every 15 minutes.
Oof.
So they'd sort of like say, oh, go make a cup of tea or something. Like they'd advertise to like not bother sitting around for a while. But yeah, it takes a while. But then some stations are now just copying the American model and just doing more ads for shorter times. So
either way, it sucks. More ads, less ads, longer ads, shorter ads. It's all the same amount, and everybody's. I remember. I don't know how it is for you. Is most ads in the UK pharmacy ads? Pharmaceuticals.
No. We don't advertise that. Gambling, booze, fast food, reality TV shit.
Oh yeah.
More sports. So in the sports one's fair enough, but
really not the pharmaceuticals though, huh?
No, we don't advertise that over here.
You get free. Do you guys get free health care over there? I'm just wondering.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. With the NHS, but not allowed to advertise on television.
Yeah, that makes sense. Not over here. Literally, almost every commercial is. You got restless legs. You got your eyes are fuzzy. You got this. You got like you name it. Everything. They're just trying to sell you like drugs for it, and it's Zimpalter and Zimblanky and all these X names.
Yeah, I've seen the adverts because it starts off. It's like maybe you've got this one thing or maybe this second thing, and then there's this medication that kind of might fix it, and then they get through that bit in about 4 seconds, and then they spend the next minute and 4 seconds saying all the side effects really quickly while showing you pictures of like old people enjoying spending time with the grandkids and stuff just to paint pictures.
Right.
But so dangerous when it's just like, oh yeah, they might fix these two things, but then there's like, yeah, it might cause death, instant death, slow death, short death.
And then you get the Better Call Saul commercials afterwards. Have you taken this 10 years ago? And it's like, hasn't anybody figured this out yet? Come on. Do we really need RFK to tell you that, this is not good with his weird ass voice out here? Sounds like he was punched in the throat. He sounds kind of like Pat McAfee, in my opinion. Here's some advertisements that are wholesome. Go buy my album. That's a way you can support the show. Another way, go to Teespring, buy some Dr. Huge merchandise. More to be added to my line. The male RuPaul here. Right? Does that make sense? Maybe it does. Either way, buy this. That's the name. Self-titled album, Like a Pro. I actually have a YouTube channel dedicated to this as well. Music videos official. They gave me the official little musical note. Go check it out. Wow. So much going on in the wrestling world. I watched 2.5 hours of Raw last night, not 3 hours. They calmed it down. Still too much?
It's still a lot. It is. At least when it was an hour, it was just you were gagging for more by the end of it. You were just like, oh, just 5 more minutes. That's all I wanted. 2 hours, you're like, yeah, I'm fairly satisfied. And 3, pretty much most weeks, you just watch it and be like, I could have done without the last hour, maybe a little bit more. But yeah, the NXT on the network was just a perfect example of that. When that was on the network, before it went to television, it was worth that $10 a month just for NXT, in my opinion. I bloody loved it. It was great. You watched it, it was exciting. It got enough people over, and then it ended, and you wanted more, and you were gagging for the next week. And with Raw and SmackDown, you're just like, oh no, I could maybe, that's enough for me, thanks. I don't want to watch Saturday Night Main Event now, and I don't want to watch all the extra bits.
Wow, you don't even want to see the brother again, dude?
Is where we shed our blood sets.
He's coming back.
It's a bit too soon. Unless they like the heat, unless they want him to get booed again. Because even if he went somewhere where like politically they like him, I think they'd still boo him just for fun now.
Yeah, I think like Jay Leto said last week when he was on, he's like, hopefully he shows up at the Texas show and watch him get a totally different reaction. And they probably know this is going to happen.
Yeah,
he's going to get booed in one place and cheered in another. I don't think, like I said, it couldn't be a surprise. In LA, especially of all places, it's not like he's in Florida or a place where he's a known commodity, and they're just kind of like, whether they like him or hate him, they're not. You'll get some boos still, I'm sure, but it won't be the same, just based on geography. That's my prediction.
Okay. Mm-hmm. Yeah, they don't do the booing the shit out of Cena anymore, so maybe they, just because, it did get stale at one point, just like Hulk Hogan did very quickly. But people just like don't give Cena as much grief as they used to do. They've just sort of like accepted him now.
Check this out. I was playing around with this earlier. And then I went to this page.
This is where we shed our blood, sweat, and tears.
Look, I'm recreating it right now.
Let me say it one more time.
Okay, go ahead.
You completely understand. If you actually think that I was just the right guy.
Wow. He's got a lot to say tonight, this Hulk Hogan. What is this button? Oh, I don't want that.
This is where we shed our blood, sweat, and tears.
Look at that. Theater of the mind, Reezy. You like that? Professional. What does that say? Hold on, bring it back. What's Gucci? I thought you were talking about Gucci Mane for a second. One of the goats. Yep, we're going to be talking about Corbin a little later there. Sasha Reigns, stay tuned. Thank you. You're Baron Corbin correspondent out here, I know. So keep coming with that news. I got a little bit of news on that as well. Again, like, share, subscribe if you haven't. You know, one of these days I'm going to catch you at a wrestling show. I'm going to give you a fresh one. Yep. So hit all the buttons, especially on YouTube. If you're watching on X, go over to YouTube. Tell all your friends about it. We're out here. Get in the chat. Start talking to us. And I'll put you up on the screen just like this. Corbin is doing GCW on the 19th. Yep. Future news. But let's talk about Penta right now. That's what all the kids are talking about. They're all buying the masks, putting on the makeup on the mouth only. Makeup on the mouth and around the eyes a little bit. And then they're buying the masks. They're buying the T-shirts. They're buying the socks. I think he's kind of going full yeet already. Yeet! Yep.
Yeah, I saw a couple of stills and I was like, that's why. Look at all that merch they've got falling off him right now on day one.
Yep. The worst kept secret, is I think Cole or somebody said last night. Yeah. Everybody, as soon as they said masked luchador, we already know he's coming. You got the little vignette things going on. And now he's selling merch. Before he even debuted, some people had a problem with that. Do you see a problem with this, Danny?
No, not if they're expecting him, no. No, good. Like I say, I've not been a fan of his in AEW. To me, he's just Captain Hand Gestures. Most of his moveset over there was hand gestures. And yeah, and they'd spend a lot of time. Yeah, they'd spend a lot of time doing that. And it's like, look, in a fight, I don't buy this because you just slap him in the face and be like, stop pissing around. But yeah, if he's got some guidance and is going to play ball, yeah, fair play to him. Especially then if he's selling merch and people are happy with that.
Isn't this the white supremacy sign?
To some people, to others, it just means okay. It's just one of those silly things that to one person it means something, another it means something else, and people always take out of context. Yeah.
I'm all into all this. I'm buying into all this time around. I'm wising it up. I'm not selling out. I'm buying in. You understand? So that's what I'm doing. I'm going. Whatever you want to do, WWE, making that money. I'm here for it. Let's go. Let's sell all that merchandise. Because, I mean, think about this. I've been thinking about it for months. Jey Uso has been selling all this merch. And they call him main event Jey Uso, even though he's not. Even though he's in some main events on Monday Night Raw, here or there, whatever. Okay. But so hasn't a bunch of other guys that aren't main event guys, like LA Knight and stuff like that. At least not yet. But with Jey Uso, they're selling like hotcakes out here. The glasses, everything. They probably have headbands at this point and all the rest. But people are buying into this big time. It's stuck around longer than the dabbing. Remember dabbing?
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
I don't miss it. I remember it.
Okay?
No, I wasn't. I remember it, but I don't miss it.
Come on, everybody at home. Let's go. Let's yeet and yeet. That's what I do. And then I do zero medios.
Are they bringing in his tag partner?
Phoenix, probably sooner or later, because I don't see him going back to AEW. He could be left on the fringe, I guess, and end up in like Impact or TNA again. But of course, where's the money, right? For Phoenix, for even WWE. I think Penta, everybody cools off so super fast these days. These kids have brains like goldfish. The attention that they spend on something is like, oh, if you're not grabbing my attention within 5 seconds, they're like moving on to something else. So now you got Pentagon in here. I'm just going to call him whatever I want because I've seen him so many times over in different promotions. He's Pentagon to me. When Ray Phoenix is available, the WWE, if they like money, which I believe they do, they'll get him no matter what. Because I'm sure Pentagon's not going to be like, he's going to be big for a while. Everybody's talking about him. He debuted last night, all this stuff. I don't expect this to maintain for months on end. I feel like they have so many wrestlers. What happens when Ilya Dragunov comes back and he wants a spot back or whatever? Then that just takes Penta another notch down. Every time Randy Orton's out, all these different people. There's a
you don't think he'll last as a solo guy?
No. I think they'll push him as they want to see what they got. I don't know what their money deal is with him or what they're expecting from him. But if I were them, I would bring him in. You get this huge pop. You're going to sell a shitload of merchandise. It's going to cool off. And then you're going to need Ray Phoenix to come in and then get the extra bango out of it. And who knows? It could turn into them both becoming single stars in the future or like their main luchadors because they do have more charisma than a Dragon Lee. Dragon Lee's great in the ring, all this stuff, blah, blah, blah. He's the shits when it comes. He has no aura to me. Yep.
Yeah. They do have a lot of similar movesets though, and I think we've discussed before about the masks. Like on AEW, when you've got like 100 different lucha masks, they start to look similar.
Yeah.
And like I say, especially then when they're also doing very similar moves constantly, and they've got the same 200 miles per hour attitude, just like all the time. So yeah, you might be right that being in a tag team might get them over a bit better first, and then they can go the separate ways.
Yes.
But they could get lost if they're on their own.
Like I said, I don't foresee like Penta all of a sudden going to be vying for main titles and stuff like that really anytime soon, if ever. Maybe after everything we just talked about, them getting a tag team together with Phoenix and then a deal with that and blah, 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 and maybe in the future, like a Eddie Guerrero style. But generally, luchadors, any of them, they don't just come in and like win. Look at Sin Cara. Remember him?
Which one?
The one with the great light. I like gimmicks like that, by the way, everybody. I know it's for some reason people don't like that. Like the red light during the Fiend matches, it's gonna be dark. I get it, but it's better. It sets a mood, at least for the people in the arena. And to me, it looks fine through the TV. I see everything. I'm like inside the ring with these cameras. But that cool purple lighting, or what was it, like a blue light or whatever, for Sin Cara was awesome. Yep. More of that lighting stuff and weirdness. Because again, we're going to watch all these wrestling matches. I'm just going to watch, basically like, if I want to watch the 70s or 80s or 90s, I can go do that whenever I want. I want some modern shit. I want some thinking outside of the box, or at least trying. And that tells me that they were at least trying with certain things to get guys over. And remember I brought up, maybe you didn't see last night's show, but I think I predicted that Penta was going to get like all the bells and whistles and the flames and the lights, and he did. And that's what they needed to do. I think they presented him as best as they could. The match overall with Gable was, it was good. It was like a little above average. It was good stuff. They had some spots here and there. If you want to get real Dave Meltzer-y about this, was it a 5-star? No, but they got the job done. Then he does a Spanish promo, which I like. I've been talking about this for years as well. Like, just let them speak in their native tongue if they can't speak English, because them speaking English is fucking painful to me.
Yeah.
It's painful to listen to. They're struggling. They probably spent like 3 days memorizing the sentence, and then
it smashes the confidence, and everyone can tell.
Mm-hmm. Just let them like what they've been doing with Damage Control. They've been letting them just speak in Japanese most of the time. I've hated it with the LWO. They've been doing it the worst the past year or so, where they literally have to say something in Spanish and then they repeat it in English.
Right. Oh, you mean live promos?
Mm-hmm. Or backstage, they're talking to each other and they're like, yeah, here, I'm going to say this in Spanish and then this in English. And it's like, yeah, you just said the same thing twice to like everybody. It's kind of, it takes you right out of it. It's like watching a musical.
Yeah. With the pre-film stuff, I think it's brilliant. Like Nakamura has really been shining since. It's not just recently; they've been doing it a while. Where they've let him just speak Japanese and then they've just subtitled it. Mm-hmm. So yeah, I do like with the pre-film stuff. I do understand why people would be a bit like not confused, but just sort of like irritated by non-English on a primarily English show. It's like. So I'm hearing this now, but I don't understand. So I'm going to have to check back later on to find out what I just heard. Or they can do what you've just said, where they repeat themselves afterwards in a different language, and then you just feel like you're on a bloody safari or something when you do that one.
Yeah, it's just weird, you know. It's like, because I know you're saying it twice. Everybody knows you're saying it twice, and it just must, cares. Was it that important what you said? And then, like, I believe Penta might have done the same thing last night. I don't know. But I assume he did, at least the last line of what he was saying in Spanish, and he said it in English. And I was like, all right, and this is going on too long. You know what I mean? So get out of the ring, take your mask off, wash your chin off. It was on fleek, though, last night. It was perfect, that makeup. WWE on a whole nother level, and like in the ways that actually matters. You understand what I'm saying, Danny? That's why like AEW feels amateur when you're looking at WWE all the time with their perfect cameras, their makeup artists, their clothes, and everything else.
Oh, they've got all the bases covered. Definitely.
Did you at least watch the street fight between Priest and Finn? Did you see any highlights? Did you hear anything about it?
No, I didn't actually. No, it was just the Chad Gable match that I saw was popping up everywhere.
Yeah. Well, let me tell you, this was to me the most exciting part of the 2.5 hours, and they ended up in the stands. They ended up. I mean, everything you could pretty much predict it all, but then they did even more. So, like, it feels like Priest and Finn went above and beyond. They know that they're in, like, a mediocre spot. Again, what I was talking about last night, how it's like the tag titles and the women's title is kind of, like, still in that Judgment Day, Priest, Rhea area. Even with the Biker Raiders now on Priest's team, they're fighting with Judgment Day all the time. They got his back. It's like that world is like relegated to just the tag titles on that one show and the women's title on that show, which isn't like in the scheme of things, isn't that high up on the totem pole here. But I think this match was done well. They put it over as best they could. They Priest threw Finn Balor like basically out of the crowd, like one of them New Jack type area spots, and he threw him through or landed down with him, did his finisher down there through tables and pillows and stuff, and then Finn Balor, they come back from commercial because there's a million commercials. And Finn Balor
was a match.
Yep, like basically looks dead. He's got the neck brace. He's on a, they're wheeling him out, and then Priest is like, no, he wasn't going to allow it to happen. He goes back, attacks Judgment Day, attacks Finn. Takes him off, actually rolls the what do they call them things? Gurneys? I just call them all the gurneys. It rolls it right down to the ring. He rolls it inside the ring. It was actually perfect. Like the way he just like went right down the ramp and then into the ring. And Priest goes in there, beats him up some more, and wins the match. After he throws him through a barricade. Oh, God, what else did they do? Oh, Finn Balor stomped him a couple times after getting almost wheeled out of the arena. And then one of them he stomped right on Priest's prostate, and it just like I was like, oh my god.
Let me say it one.
Get out of here, Hogan. I'm not
so
looking
you
for you right now.
understand.
I was like, no yeet. It was a bad one. He stomped right above his crotch, right into the underbelly. And I was like, ooh, that was the one in the ring. And then the one outside the ring, he put him on a table. And then he stomped him through the table. It was amazing.
Yeet.
Yeah, that was yeet. So you missed a good one there.
I'm sure I'll live.
Yeah, there'll be 1,000 more hours of wrestling next week. I'm sure there'll be something at least comparable to that. Yeah, man. But that was pretty.
Yeah,
much
I've noticed that they've given Priest the War Machine, War Raiders, Viking Raiders, whatever they bloody are now, to sort of like act as his backup. So before, when he was in charge of Judgment Day, it was like, yeah, you've got some muscle, I suppose, or at least like strength in numbers. But it didn't make him look as tough. Whereas now, if he's in charge of like a small biker gang, they're trying to make him look a bit tougher with them two behind him. Because if he's got those two minions, then he obviously must be tougher than those two minions. Where if he's tougher than just like Little Finn and JD and that lot, it's not as impressive. They've done the same thing with Karrion Kross and the
AOP.
What's it called? AOP. That's it. Yeah. So it's just they needed to make him look tougher, so they've given him two absolute monsters as like minions. So it just makes him look a bit bigger by comparison.
Karrion Kross, he's out here threatening people's lives, saying he's going to kill people in their sleep. See that online? That was last night. He posted it. Crazy.
But then last week he did all the wacky stuff with the Miz. And then so he does all that, and then he wonders why people don't take him seriously when he threatens to kill people. And it's like, because you just were goofing around last week, pulling silly faces and making noises with the Miz. So
watch out, I know he watches out there traveling around with his wife, and she's actually going to be brought up in this show, possibly. If we don't run too long, but if I miss a couple minutes of NXT, this is no big deal. People get liking and subscribing, by the way, all over the place, especially on YouTube. I need those watch hours. YouTube is the place to be. Gonna post stuff like crazy on there. Yep. So get liking. And what else? Oh, what else was I going to say about Karrion Kross? He, of course, is a part of the Final Testicle, and they're fighting with the Wyatt Six. And the Wyatt Six last night, breaking news, folks.
This in breaking news.
The Wyatt Six are now on SmackDown mid-storyline. How does that make any sense, Danny?
No idea. The brand split's just silly anyway because they don't stick to it, and yeah,
yep.
It's an excuse to get more belts, and then they just switch over. They bring out different belts, and it's like, all right, this belt's meant to be on Raw, this belt's meant to be on SmackDown, but then the belt holders just end up on the other shows anyway, so it's just, yeah. Yep,
doesn't even matter. It's crazy. Maybe they'll come up with some horror belts. Something like that. So, remember Bray Wyatt had one?
Yeah, Bray had the face skin Buffalo
Bring it back,
Bill.
we'll sell it at the store, right? Come on.
Yeet! I think they did sell that one for a bit, and it was
yeah, they did. Yeah,
disgustingly more expensive than the other belts somehow.
Was it?
I'm sure someone said
that thing was hideous, and I know it was meant to be hideous, but well, they did a good job with it. Then, if that was what they were going for. I couldn't imagine even getting that for a kid. Imagine you buy that for a kid or something, and it's like they put it up on your desk or whatever in your room, and you see it at night. Wow, so scary. Yep. You know what else is scary? This Chris Jericho. His matches are scary. Saturday Night Collision there in AEW. Him and Cash Wilder were in a match, the bald one, and it was the total shits. I don't know if you saw a clip of this. I tried to tell everybody, please go watch this clip, the end of this match. It was bad. I've seen worse, but for a main event, for two top guys to look that bad at the end of a match to close the thing, it was the total shits.
It's the shits.
It was crazy. how bad it was. So you don't know nothing about this.
No, and that's disappointing because they should be able to put on just a nice little match. Jericho's obviously older, but yeah, they should be able to put on a nice little match just to finish a show.
Jericho went to poke the ref in the eyes at the end, like there was some maneuver done to him. He was on the mat, and he literally just kind of like touches him. And then the ref like, oh, and then he's selling like as if something happened. And then Dash there jumped off the rope. Looked like he headbutted him, like one of them Chris Benoit like style top rope headbutt drops. And I don't think it was supposed to be that though. But then Jericho rolls over and gets up, and Cash Dialer there is laying all fucked up, and Jericho then ends up giving him his Jericho finish there, and it was just the whole thing was so ugly.
The one where he falls over 9 times out of 10.
Yeah,
that elbow, he trips himself up half the time.
Because he's spinning too hard. He's probably been rocked a few times that match too, and he's all kind of silly. Got 2 left feet, and then he's just like swinging his arm, does a 360, flying all over the place. No control. Wow, the Judas effect.
Yeet.
That's what it is. Yeah.
So yeah, FTR still doing singles matches.
It looks like it. This is a picture of them together. I don't think it was this match, but I found a picture of them together. And there it is.
What are they?
Look at them working.
What are they doing? Have they got whose leg have they?
Yeah,
it's just silly stuff like that. So they've both got someone in a submission hold, and they're just doing this spot where they're just going to shout at each other and pull faces, and yeah.
What do you laugh at, fuckface? Shut your mouth.
That's what he said to him while he was in this position. But yeah, you got to go back and watch this at some point, Danny, because if only I could play these clips and they didn't copyright the shit out of me on all these platforms. They destroy me with copyrights and restrictions. And the first time I made this channel, this is an old ass channel, so expect a new one, everybody, coming up soon. It's going to be more of a clip channel. This is going to be an archive and live channel until the clip channel takes off, because everybody's going to be subscribing to that for some reason, not this one. But they restricted this the first day I started putting videos on. And I get it. I swear sometimes or whatever. But to like do it like overnight, I was like, wow, that's pretty fast. And I barely did anything yet. So
yeah, they've got the little minions that they like to send out to get things taken down. I've reported about that actually before. Not as friendly as they advertise.
Yeah, and then
Do
I
you
know
think
like
so?
Oh, go ahead.
No. I was going to.
I know teenagers that have told me before, like, oh yeah, I got thousands of subscribers. I got all this. I got all that, and I just lift everybody else's content. I'm like, well, that's nice. You know what I mean? I'm here like actually making stuff and putting work into this. And YouTube's like, no, we don't want that. We're gonna push the stolen content. So okay.
Or the questionable content, because there's a lot of that.
Yeah.
I was going to say, do you think FTR would go back to WWE now that Triple H is back in charge? Or do you think they've just been playing this AEW is actually better game? Tony's great. I love being the pretend uncle to everybody backstage. Do you think they've just gone too deep into that?
No, I don't think anybody's too deep. This is wrestling. At the end of the day, it's about making money, and it's about, putting yourself over to make money and to do it as long as you can. So if Tony Khan is promising the world to certain guys like FTR and saying, listen, you're going to be doing what you like and you're going to be getting paid. I understand the allure of that, especially as like a creative type, somebody that just let me do whatever I want and they're going to pay me a ton. Like, I don't see a problem with that. You know what I mean? But then again, there are some people that are highly competitive and they want to go to the best. They may get paid a little bit less, but in the end, who knows? They could be getting paid a lot more. And they could be, actually have like one of these like legacies. Ric Flair is going to be talked about at least another 30, 40 years after he's dead. And that's pretty good. You know, without like winning a war on horseback or some shit. You know what I mean? Like, if you're not doing that, people are going to forget you pretty damn quick. So, if that's one of the things you're looking for, that's there. Some people just want to go to we all grew up with WWF and WWE. We didn't grow up with AEW, especially the wrestlers that are in the business right now. They haven't been growing up with AEW. It hasn't been around that long. So everybody's dream still at this point. People have been bringing this to my attention last night with Thunder Rosa. It just reminds me, you know, Thunder Rosa's congratulating Penta on, you know, succeeding in reaching his dream and everything. So apparently this was a dream. It must be to all wrestlers, especially if you've never been there. Now, if you've been to WWE and now you're in AEW, like Mox, I definitely expect you to ride that out as long as you can, you know, because he's just like, whatever, I'm making shitloads of money and I got my Death Riders and I'm fucking, you know, taping up old wrestlers backstage. He's probably loving all that, even though the crowd doesn't really give a shit, but he likes it. So I expect them type of guys to stay longer. Of course, they got their disgruntled guys and all that too, but overall, everybody wants to go to WWE unless you really, you know, you're really about them. Like I said, the money thing really doesn't matter. WWE's killing it right now. And it's like cashing in a lottery ticket or playing Deal or No Deal Island and winning it all. You're like going for the big box there, the big briefcase.
Yeah. With someone like FTR, though, yeah, you're right with money. If all they want is money, they could probably... actually, no, I think Tony had just given money just to keep them happy. But then in AEW, they get something they probably wouldn't get in WWE now, where they get to be this uncle role model thing and people just blow smoke up their ass and they're now playing ball and going on Twitter when they're not booked in a match saying, hey, everyone, watch AEW live on whatever because it's great and it's proper wrestling. And Goldust is terrible for that. He was all WWE when he worked for them. Then he moved to AEW and he's just like, AEW is the greatest. And they're just barkers. When they're not booked, they go on Twitter and they just bark and advertise, hoping that they get booked the next fucking week. And it's just FTR. Sorry, I've just done that for too long now, and I don't know if they went to NXT, for example, to try and like teach some of the young guys some new stuff. I think people might be like, "No, thanks, lads. You've just spent like 3 or 4 years at AEW saying it's the best thing ever. How can we trust your opinion when you've just been like, enjoying that circle jerk and like putting Tony Khan over?"
It's so funny you brought up Goldust because, you know, he blocked me too from being in WWE. He didn't like that. I wanted him to go full old school Goldust. Like, just bring it back. We're in a day and age, you know, where being gay is like super over. Imagine Goldust right now. You know, I think it would be good. Of course, it'd be risky or whatever it was years ago when I was saying this. You know, in this PG era and all that, but I didn't want any of that at the time anyway. But basically, bottom line is, you know, I'm just out here saying my opinion. It's no reason to block me. I'm not saying like you're the shits, you know, or anything. But hey, maybe try. So he definitely seems a little bit, you know, a little sensitive.
Oh, very thin-skinned. Very.
So, there you go. Wasn't just me then, I guess. Damn you, Goldust. I was such a fan of yours. You know, the way you molested Razor Ramon and Rowdy Piper. It was inspiring to a young Dr. Huge. Because I was like, what is this? What is this? And then Terry Runnels there was hot back in the day. BFTs. Yep.
Which then just confused matters more because you watched it as a kid. You saw Goldust, so you started to go, right, I think I get what's going on here. I think I understand what he is. And then he starts like eating Marlena's face, and it's like, oh, now I don't know what's going on again. I'm is he? Isn't he? So which was good because that was the point. But yeah, I think if they try and do something like that now, you're right. They could make it work, but they only need one person to be like, I'm offended, and that's it.
But the thing is, it's Goldust. He's already done it. So there's your out right there. You go, what? We've done this in the past. What, we can't do it now? Like we're really gonna, like I said, I'm telling you, the tide is changing. This whole Trump deal over here, I've sensed it for months building up to the election, and I'm not even political at all. It's just I know things and I feel things, and I can see where the tides are going. And I'm telling, like, people are kind of sick of the censorship. It's already out here as far as like everybody, you know, trying to loosen up, and the Facebook business lately, which is a total farce. Like, how ridiculous was that? Zuckerberg out here trying to change his brand right in front of your face. He is who he is. He's that creepy, reptilian looking dude from before, trying to act human all the time. He's not this new bro that's into MMA and is chilling with the MAGAs, and he's gonna, crack open some brewskis with you. No. He's like the rest of the creeps. And do not trust him. Don't trust, Daddy Elon. We can't talk bad about him. We're on his platform right now, but keep an eye on him too. Keep an eye on all these guys. That's all I got to say about that. Is he or is he not a reptile? Danny?
The former, yes. Yeah. I don't mind Musk as much. He's obviously not perfect. I was amused the other day when it turned out he was caught cheating on one of his games.
Oh, yes, I did see that as well. Yep, he plays Diablo, right?
Yeah, there was another game, though, where someone had spotted something, and I think he's just like paying people to get his character up to like max, which is he's got a very busy, important job. So I understand you can't be at home grinding the experience points for every single game you play. I do get it, but don't just say you've done it.
This is my thing.
Yeah.
Who is buying this horse shit? Like, I knew he was, whenever he was like, oh, I'm a big gamer and I play Diablo and I do this and I play that. And I'm just like, no, you don't. You're lying right now. And other people like will just go, oh, yeah, sure. Or they wait until he gets caught obviously cheating in a stream or something. It's like, sure, you may play once in a while, but you're not like these guys out here playing 15 hours a day. He's trying to make it seem like he's an actual gamer. You are not, sir. Disgusts me. I hate when people just can't be real. Like, and if he's lying about that, probably lying about a lot of stuff. Because why would you even lie about something like that? Unless you're trying to be cool, you're trying to get over for money. Again, at the end of the day, that's all any of these fucking people out here want. And he's going to be like the first trillionaire, I heard.
What the hell?
Cool. Yeah, so Elon Musk has more money than the rest of the country. That sounds cool. Yep. Sorry, Elon. You better start boosting my X profile, or I'm going to really do a deep dive on why you're like dressing up in Luciferian garb and shit. Okay? I'm watching you. Let's go. Boost me. Hate this. I hate playing this pay to play stuff. Got to do it. I got this show, I got to be out here talking about nonsensical wrestling stuff, or else, I don't want to close up shop. And I need Elon Musk and Mark Zuckerberg and all them guys. Maybe I'll have a dinner with you one night, just like all of the our intelligence does. All them shout out to everybody, all them watching right now as well, and watching me in my sleep. Thank you. I'm not doing anything. Just trying to do a wrestling show. Just trying to yuck it up with everybody, right? These are just jokes, everybody. Just kidding. Yep. Right, Danny?
Oh, yeah. All in good fun. Entertainment purposes only.
I see you pulled out one of your...
Thank you.
Yeah. Hi, everybody's lawyers. So you got the old school Stone Cold and The Rock right there on.
Yeah. It's a hell of a shot.
Even the bad ones you should bust out someday.
Yeah, I'll try and get through 'em. Most of my wardrobe is all bloody wrestling t-shirts, to be honest.
I have plenty myself. I could always use some more. Maybe some more merch yeet. Yeet! To anybody watching out there. You know, I'll have to get a P.O. box and then I'll just get all the merch. Yeet merchandise from Merch Table J Uso. One of my favorite things of the night on this Raw, to get back into this, where is she? Where are you? You're around here somewhere. There you are. King Kong Peg Bundy. What do they call these? A corset? Her corset was leopard print. Yep. I know you're all riled up now, aren't you, Danny? Looking at Nia Jax in all leather or leopard body.
Yeah, not for me, thanks.
No?
She has got better in the ring, though. She knows how to antagonize people as well. She's got better on the mic and she's got better in the ring. She's taken a lot of criticism seriously. She's still not perfect. She's far from it, but she's a lot more useful than she was like last year.
Yep. The house last night, they were booing her. They were hating on her. And you can tell Rhea Ripley was like, she almost just corpsed. She started laughing. She was like, she wasn't taking it seriously at all. And Nia Jax is coming into the ring and she's smiling. She's loving that the crowd was hating her guts. She's like, this is so good for business. Thank you very much, everybody, for hating me as much as you do. And, that was her moment there because she doesn't really need the title now to me. She's huge. She's got the outfit on and the crowd is booing her relentlessly. And then you get Vampiro back here. In her Frankenstein boots. With I called this as well. I called a lot of what was happening last night, and one of the things was Rhea Ripley was going to come out there looking like Vampiro, Frankenstein boots, and then do a total shits promo.
It's the shits.
I don't even remember it. It was bad because our promos are bad. And then Nia Jax saved our 15 minutes or segment or whatever we were doing. So yep. You didn't really miss that much last night, to be honest. It was when I looked at the card too, I'm like, wow, this is really taking your foot off the gas compared to last week. Even though, like I said, last week it just kind of finished things up very quickly,
4 matches last week. That's all it was. Just 4 matches. Yeah, they just built the rest around it. But yeah, Nia Jax she's definitely got better. She lost a bit of weight as well. So, I think she still lands on a couple of the lasses when she does some of her moves, but she's not nearly as bad as she used to be. She's bumbling all over the spot before.
Lyra Valkyria took on Dakota for the IC Championship. It was, I didn't really care who won this match, but I figured Lyra was going to win. She was second place in the Queen of the Ring. So she had to win this one. And plus the WWE loves her. I love her. Everybody loves her. She's super over. She's really good in there. They just need to develop her character more. And I thought she's fine. And then Dakota was backstage afterwards with my girlfriend, Io Sky, getting all hugged and everything. And she was put over by that. She had her own segment, basically explaining why she lost. And she's still sticking around and all this business. So, yep. She'll have one of these titles someday, or should. And anything to say about that?
No. Io Sky's great. I still don't understand how they never ran with that. Do you remember when someone told her to go back to China or something? And she's like, I'm Japanese, bitch. How they've never done something with that, I don't know. I just thought it was one of the greatest things ever. And she's good in the ring. She gets a little bit silly when it comes to War Games matches because she just now does that expected trash can spot. But no, Io is one of the better lasses on the roster, definitely.
Here's some more news. John Cena wins my poll for Royal Rumble last night. Who do you think is going to win between Cena, Rollins, McIntyre, just, Reigns, all these people that are going into it? And over 50%, John Cena. So
my gut would say either Cena or Punk,
yeah, yep.
but I couldn't tell you who between because they both got a good reason to win.
I can't remember. Has anybody actually lost a title during WrestleMania season? I'm sure it's happened.
Maybe 99, 2000 period where The Rock and Triple H just fought each other for like 15 pay-per-views straight or something.
Or when he stole one or something.
Yeah, they might have done something then. But yeah, typically if they start to plan something around Royal Rumble time that's going to happen WrestleMania time, you pretty much know the belts are all locked in place.
Damn it.
This is where we shed our blood, sweat, and tears.
Yep, at the Trump rally. That's where we do it. Trump training. Look at the Hulkster there. You know what's funny? I was laughing at myself earlier. This picture is under Hogan Zimas. Get it? Do you know what Zimas are?
No.
It's a beverage, or used to be a beverage over here in the States. It was clear. Yep. Get it?
Let me say it one more time.
Go ahead.
So you completely understand. If you actually think that I was just the right guy.
Get it? Zimas. Yeah. So refreshing. This guy's fighting tonight.
What was that?
Axiom. Frazier and Axiom are taking on who are they taking on here? They call themselves OTM. It's Jada Parker's group. You know, the big butt Latina chick.
That would be call them that. Please. The names they give them on NXT now are just ridiculous. People don't have memorable names. It's just like a name generator on a fucking RPG or something. It's really ridiculous. Jim Cornette has talked about it before, and he struggles with some of the names, but they don't stand out. And yeah, I thought it was a Vince thing at one point because Vince was around and everyone just like started getting different names for no reason whatsoever. But they still give people the NXT names.
Frazier and Axiom too always bothered me, and they call it, it's Fraxium. Like, that's fucking shit.
It's the shits.
You know, like that's just stupid. But you know what? It's still not as stupid as Cope. At least.
No.
That's the most stupid. Yep. That's exactly what you would think, like if you had a dad and they would be like getting into wrestling all of a sudden, I'm gonna be Cope now. It's like, Dad, come on. You know, my friend's gonna make fun of me at school if you call yourself Cope, you know? Like, how do you not know this? So yeah. Roxanne's going to come out tonight. She's making an appearance. She lost to Julia, of course. So she's got a future somewhere, and she's going to address it tonight, folks. Oba Femi's coming out. He's the champ now, and he was also at Raw last night in the crowd. So they're pumping him up. He's a pretty big name. How about this for a story? Let me find my little video screen. The Hugentron 69,000, as I call it. Where is it? It's around here somewhere. I'm going to show you some tweets and a video before we go off air. I also have a video. Hey, I don't want to be here. Where's the video? Oh my goodness. It's not set up. I got to set it up again. Hold on one moment, everybody. This will be worth it because I have the screens up. Check this out. So we got Corey Graves here. Imagine chasing your dream, then being told, not deciding that you're no longer physically able to pursue your dream. Then you dedicate your life to something dream adjacent and being pretty fucking awesome at it. And then when it's time to enjoy the fruits of your labor, show more. Okay, show more. Your labor. Where were we at?
Being told you're not famous enough to do your own job.
Yeah, there you go.
Just in case you wondered where I've been.
Yep.
I didn't know he'd been off.
Wow. Yeah, Pat McAfee probably took his job. We don't like that.
Right, more than right. I thought that was just a one-off, and maybe he's given Corey the night off. Yeah, that sucks then. If Corey's been nudged out of the way.
But then check this out. I've got a lot to say. Don't miss WWE NXT tonight.
So they're doing an angle then, yeah.
Mm-hmm. He's working us. I believed him for a second. Only for a second, though, folks. All right? I'm a journalist, analyst. I know when I'm being worked. All right? Retweet this. Share this all over the place. Hit that like button, you lazy bastards. All right. Now watch this video. I'm about to hit you with some more shit right here. Watch this. I'm so professional. Watch this. Odyssey Jones, remember him?
Yeah.
He joined the New Day for a little bit. He was from NXT.
Yeah.
And and then I heard he had some business about he beat up his girlfriend or ex-wife or something. And I haven't even watched this video yet. So let's see what he has to say about this.
Hello world, my name is Amari Palmer, aka Odyssey Jones, and first and foremost I'd like to thank Jesus Christ, my Lord and Savior, for giving me the strength to get through these difficult times. As always, all glory to God. Secondly, I would like to say Happy New Year, and I wish you all a great and safe 2025. I'm making this video to address the false allegations. These false claims are coming from a party that I used to prior engage with, and I apologize for taking so long for addressing these false claims. But I had to patiently wait to get an injunction set in place to protect my family, my friends, and myself. I am currently taking legal action against said party, so I can't speak too much more on it, but there will be more information to come. With that being said, I would like to thank the WWE for the amazing opportunity they've given me in my life. I thank you so much for bringing me on. I'd like to thank all the coaches that I've worked with over the years for helping me work on my craft and grow as a person. I'd also like to thank management and
I better not get a copyright strike for this. That's all I'm saying.
Creative for putting me in a position for success, as well as thank the fans for the support that you have given me, not only today, but all the way back in day one. With all that being said, the journey continues. I'm ready to get back to doing what I love to do. I'm accepting bookings in 2025, and I thank you all for your support and for your time. I'm wishing you nothing but blessing and love, baby. Big O out.
Well, there you have it.
My main question is, was he that fanatical about the man upstairs before all of this? Or is this just one of those, I need to make it look like I don't know either way. I'm genuinely asking, like Shawn Michaels style.
I don't know. My guess is no. That's my guess, but that's my guess usually when I hear this. Have you noticed though, over here in the States, I've noticed this trend. I mean, they've been running Jesus commercials, and they've been. I grew up in all this. I know all about it. Okay, but I find it weird when I start to see it in advertising along with my pharmaceutical ads, right? So I get like 20 pharmaceutical ads in a row, and then I'll get like a Jesus ad, and I'm like, no, that's weird. You know, it's kind of breaking things up here in a weird way. But then, I watch college football or pro football, and all the young players, the top stars that are quarterbacks, generally are praising the Lord and everything. I don't have a problem with this, you know. I like goofing on everything. Everything can be goofed on, except one of the Abrahamic religion, or actually two of them. We can goof on Christianity, though, so expect a touch of that. But yeah,
not the peaceful one though. That peaceful one's nice and peaceful. So
right.
You don't have to worry about that one.
Yeah, we're not going to even worry about the other two. Like, we can't even talk about him, or else I'll like get killed. You know, so
but we can like 5-on-1 Christians. That's absolutely fine for some reason.
Yeah, I might lose my bank or just like outright get murdered out here. So, you know, the Christians at least they only like try to murder you during war, generally.
Yeah, it's the pendulum swing. It was Christians were in charge and they had a lot of influence once upon a time. It got too much. People pushed back. The rise of the atheist, the death of God, and people have just seen how how much a lot of people need some form of religion or just some set of rules or some guidelines. So I completely understand, and I'm not surprised that more people, like young people, have got back into religion. Not at all.
And I'll tell you this, whether you believe it or not, it absolutely 100% helps people get off of like drugs and alcohol, get off of when you're in the gutter, basically. It's like, because it's at least with Christianity that I know, and I'm sure with all the other ones as well, that it has a general theme of bettering yourself, and trying to be better for the world. But then the people in charge like take it and they twist it and they make it all crazy and make it not about that. And yes, then you have people like, honestly, I'm not here to question anybody's faiths or anything, but it reminds me of HBK. It reminds me of, people. I think, what was it, Hulk Hogan that questioned him or somebody? Even Hulk Hogan, how about that? Hulk Hogan out here is all, say your prayers, eat vitamins, the brother on the cross, brother. And it's like, dude, you don't believe, you aren't about that life, okay? Don't sit here talking to me about, being a good brother, dude, and you're out here with the 12-inch penis that's fake. Yep.
Yeah. People called Hogan out a while ago, and I found someone out for you who,
Oh my goodness.
Bit hot rod.
I think, dude, what are you doing on my turf, dude?
I took him off the shelf. Look at that.
Nice. We're gonna have a whole podcast someday of just the figures talking on the screen.
Drag the shelf over, drag the bookcase over one by one. But yeah, it's just it is a lame, like, just quick and easy way for people to be like, oh yeah, I did something wrong, but you've got to forgive me now because Jesus says you've got to forgive me, and that's that. And people just use it for all the wrong reasons. So
here's a quick little thought I have.
Hand.
Sorry, but it just reminds me again. I've been seeing a lot of like the Satanist stuff popping up on YouTube, and it's like all this stuff interests me, like just people's beliefs in general. I'm not scared of any of it, but like these ex-Satanists, as they call themselves, right? A lot of their stories start out with them being in church and meeting Satanists through church, right? And then they learn that, oh my God, they're just like going to churches and they're trying to. They're not even trying. They are a part of the community. They're intertwined, but that's the big, like, how they fool you is just by actually, because they go to your church, you know what I mean? But they're totally not into it. It's like how serial killers kind of do it, where they're blending in, and they're also, if you don't want to, they're infiltrated. So,
and then you can see people that don't want to be there. If you go somewhere like that and you see people that are like, "Oh, this is shit," and
not even that. Stupid. That they enjoy being. It's like because you're literally congregating, So it's not like a bad thing to do. Like they probably like it, in certain senses. They're not like they're obviously not disgusted by it, or else they wouldn't be doing it at all. But my point is, with all these ex-Satanists out here saying, "Oh, we did this and we did that," and I can, they were a lot of people that are into this are actually in the churches, and then it's like, well, you're saying you're in the church right now, like at the end of the story, it's like it's a Christian channel promoting ex-Satanists. Do you understand? It's a loop. Yeah. So you basically just told me a story, and I've heard the story like from multiple people. So I'm like, oh my God, they're just infiltrated the church again, and they're doing it in your face. I was blown away by that. That's how I see it. Maybe they're all being truthful, right? And it was only the old Satanists that used to do that, right, guys? Right. You know what I mean? So like, I feel like even talking about any of this stuff, even in relation to wrestling, is so like people, this is blowing people's minds, I believe, out here. These kids can't handle it. Not like 8-year-olds are watching the show, but the 20-year-old kids are like, what the fuck, dude? Yeah, look into it, bro. Yeah. So I got more notes if you can stay. Are you going to sleep anytime soon?
No, I'm good.
All right. Yep. Corey Graves. We spoke on him a little bit, but yeah, everybody out here at least is expecting him to be wrestling again. And I was talking about this a couple months ago, because Edge came back from a neck. Daniel Bryan came back.
Paige.
Why not him?
Although Paige isn't really she's taken some bumps, but she's definitely reduced how she works and how she takes bumps. They've been very careful with her.
I haven't seen
Whereas Daniel Bryan's just been throwing himself everywhere. He's just not giving a shit.
Remember the story? They said his neck is basically hanging on by a thread, and he's still talking about wrestling. It's crazy. Yep. Hogan back at Saturday Night Main Event. We touched on that. Odyssey, you're done. I love that too. So people are catching on with this Odyssey story that maybe his wife or girlfriend or whoever lied, maybe made it up just to, crush his dreams because, I don't know if you guys noticed out here, but women can be pretty vindictive. So, that might have happened, right? And it just leads me into, again, the IWC is trash in general. There's some diamonds in that trash, but for the most part, the internet's trash. All fandom is garbage, hot, steamy, flaming garbage. And you guys jump on anything as soon as you've seen it. You know who didn't do that? When I heard that Odyssey Jones was getting released because he beat up his old lady back in the day, you know what I said to myself? Prove it. Because that's what we do in America, Danny. You're supposed to be innocent until proven guilty, and then we'll talk about it. I'm not believing anybody. How about that? Prove it.
That's not how we do things here. Here we meme about it and get arrested.
Oh, okay.
So different setup. But yeah, I think with Odyssey Jones, he'd upset some people anyway. He'd made a joke to I don't actually know what the joke. I can't remember what the joke was, but he'd upset people in the quote unquote trans community. So he'd said something which had upset a group of people already. So then when another accusation came in, this time from his ex-missus,
yes,
whichever.
I have it written down too, transphobe, ? Because
that was the phrase. He was called transphobic for something. I can't remember what it was that he said or did or didn't say or didn't do. But yeah, I remember that happened first, and then it came out about the allegations from his ex-partner.
Yeah. It's okay. For somebody like me, I'm not worried about any of that. How about that? Me too. Hashtag me too. I'm not worried about that. I'm not worried about this. These people out here that are, again, hot, steamy garbage are going to act like they're better than somebody else. Why? Because they disagree with you in some shape or form. Doesn't work like that anymore. It's not. We're going back to the old days, at least for a little while. It feels this is all fake, what's happening, but they're at least playing like we're doing this. So, hey, we're doing this.
Back to the 90s.
Yep. Let's see how you guys work out the next 10 years. Being bullied without your safe spaces and crayons and things. Can't talk about this, can't say that about that. And yeah, well, I like to do what I want to do. I don't have it out for anybody. Doesn't matter the religion, doesn't matter the skin color or where you're from or who you're banging or what kind of genitals you have or whatever. Doesn't matter to me. If you're an asshole, though, you will get called out. I don't give a fuck. And we will see it. We all will see it in Dr. Huge Show because we love watching the a-holes out here, especially the ones in pro wrestling. Those are my favorites. Except for Kevin Owens. He's kind of obnoxious. He's a little over the top. Wants to talk to the manager all the time. I don't like that.
But that's his bit. That's his gimmick. So
yeah. But this whole using, you're a phobe of this and you're a phobe of that. That type of weaselly, argumentative style. It's a losing. You're losing when you start doing that stuff. Once you start going at name calling or you're going to claim somebody's racist or you're going to claim that they're this and that, You know, you better prove it. If it's just you're throwing it out there, guess who looks bad? You. Yep. How about this, Danny? I'll take it another step further. I think people, especially after the lockdowns, they have no fucking class. And this is coming from Dr. Huge. The people out here, you have no class anymore. You boo. Like Jerry Krause, the Chicago Bulls GM or whatever, owner or something like that was running the team at the time when Michael Jordan's winning all these championships. People are so upset that he blew that thing up and had problems with some of the players or whatever, to this day, that they're booing an event that they held for him and being inaugurated into the Ring of Honor or something at the arena. His widow's there and the crowd is booing, right? It's just, you know what it is? I get it. I understand why they're booing, but again, it's no fucking class. You guys have you think you can just go outside and kick your feet. You would boo at a fucking funeral, these people, you know? It's like pointless. The guy's dead. And the only person you're booing is his wife. And then when Hogan comes out and he's talking about Macho Man and Andre the Giant, and everybody's booing even louder when they call those names out. Fuck these people. Mm-hmm.
Feel better?
A little bit.
Good.
But yeah,
they get everywhere.
And I don't even like Jerry Cross or any. I don't know him. I don't know. It's just, you know what it is? I notice that the boomer generation is the last generation of adults, and it scares me to death. Because what's going to happen when that generation's gone? There's no more adults left. You got a bunch of fucking knuckleheads out here that will, like I said, boo at a funeral. You know, because it's cool. It's a cool thing to do, or it's, you know, I don't like it. I don't like where this is all going. And it's just a symptom, I think, of a bigger problem, of course. But, you know, we've gotten into way too much with that. I think we've said enough when it comes to scaring everybody. And they should be scared. You know?
Yeah. That pendulum will swing back, though. Mm-hmm. It'll be crap for a while. And it's a bit frustrating now, like you say, running out of adults. But the pendulum will swing back. It always does. It might be rubbish for a bit.
Yep. Because I definitely, listen, I can't be the adult, people. It's not going to be me. It's got to be some you people out here. Not like like I said, I'm booing dead people in the crowd or whatever. You know, this is like the rest in piss generation, right? It's like, even after death, you can't have any peace. Wild.
I think the internet just on phones. In the earlier days of the internet, showing my age now, but I would always sort of like approach it as like, I won't say something to somebody on the internet unless it's something I'd say to them if I was in like a cyber cafe in the other side of the room next to them, where if they wanted to reach over and clout me around the back of their head, they could do. But then we've just gone further and further from that, and people can just say whatever they want on a phone and just pretend that the other person on the other side is an actual person. Yeah, I think we've just got very used to that and very comfortable to that, comfortable with that.
Yeah. Hey, I'm not saying I haven't done something like that before, but again, you know, I'm not the adult here. All right, I'm just relaying messages. I'm watching pro wrestling because years ago when I was tweeting "Twist of Fat" to Matt Hardy, I didn't know I was sending it directly to Matt Hardy. All right, that's my excuse. So I didn't know. I wouldn't have sent "Twist of Fat," 12 times directly to Matt Hardy if I knew how to use Twitter back in the day. And then he wouldn't have called me an asshole and all that stuff. No. But you know what? He didn't block me, though.
Yeah, you could have just asked him for tickets for next time him and his missus had a fight. That would have been a good one.
Oh, you know what? Maybe he did block me because you know what? Come to think of it, I haven't seen Matt Hardy in years on my Twitter feed. You know what? Hold on, let's do this before we close this out. Let's see if Matt Hardy is on my Twitter.
At least you can see if he has blocked you. At least you can still see his stuff, though, even if he has blocked you.
Oh, right. I need that news, Yeah.
He just can't react, even positively.
No, he doesn't block me. And I follow you, Matt. Yeah, he never did block me. Even after all that, he just called me an asshole in capital letters. This is like 10 years ago. But, he's not one of those. He's not Gold Dust. And I'm like,
No.
Gold Dust, go back to be old Gold Dust. And he was like, blocked. Get out of my life. I'm sick of people telling me to be old Gold Dust. I'm stupid Gold Dust now. Like, that stinks.
To be fair to Matt Hardy, he was ahead of a lot of other people with like getting like contact with the fans using the internet.
Yeah, he gets it.
Yeah.
Yep.
I mean, everyone does it now, but yeah, Hardy was one of the first that really sort of like properly understood it.
You know who else gets it? All these people that watch the Dr. Huge show and watch us and go and check you out at dannydamage.co.uk. You want to tell the people about it? What are you doing on there? You got anything going lately?
Yeah, sorry, I've got things for you to read. There's some videos on there, but there's a lot of reading. Sorry. Video games, music, politics, television, comics, manga.
Nice.
Wrestling. Mixed bag.
I read some of the articles. They are pretty good. And of course, check out my album, self-titled, all over the place. Spotify, Apple Music, YouTube. And I have a YouTube channel dedicated to my music videos. I made a ton of music videos. You can actually listen to some of the stuff that will be on the new album on there. And you go check that out. Subscribe to it. Subscribe here. Subscribe on Apple Podcasts. Put out another podcast yesterday. We got audio forms of everything. SoundCloud, all over the internet. Thank everybody for watching. Thank you for stopping in. Sasha Reigns in the chat, holding it down. Who are you sending things to? I'm just reading the chat now. What is this? They need Ray Phoenix and Ricky Starks and Hook. No. They can keep Hook. Thank you. You're right about most things. You do miss sometimes. That was a miss. That's okay. You're sending it. Sent it to him. All right. Well, hopefully it was Obama or somebody we were talking about to send it to. Anyway, thank you, Sasha Reigns. Thank you, Danny, for coming on and staying up late over there.
No problem.
And
it's not too late.
We'll be back Tuesday with Danny every Tuesday to talk to you guys a lot about conspiracies too. Half of the show is going to be like conspiracies, Danny. I'm sorry. You're the only one that will like put up with it.
Oh, no, it's great. It's good.
Everybody else is like, they just look at me like, what? What are you talking about?
Yeah, modern conspiracies have like a time limit on them until they end up being true anyway now.
Yeah.
The majority of them, which is funny. So,
all right. Well, we sent it. We said it all. And we'll talk to you all later. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, share this video all over X.